All right, it's your boy KashCut. I'm here with DoubleOhTevin.
Yes, sir.
What's good, man? Go ahead, talk to me.
What's going on, Cash? How you doing?
I'm good. You?
Shoot, glad to be back in the city.
Yeah, I know. I seen you was in New York a couple weeks ago. You was at the NAACP Image Awards.
No, that was where I was this past weekend. I was in New York, in Pasadena. I was in New York for a board meeting with NAA. We have our annual board meetings in Manhattan every February. So I was in New York 2 weeks ago, came home for a few days, and then took off to Cali for the NAACP Image Awards.
And what was going on over there?
In Cali?
Yeah.
Shoot, so it was the 51st NAACP Image Awards. We partnered with BET. I'm on the national board of directors for the NAACP, so I got to go to the award show. This is my second year going. I went last year too when it was in Hollywood. And we just honor black talent that often gets overlooked. I mean, for the NAACP to be the world's oldest civil rights organization, mainly fighting for black people, we celebrate black lives too. So that's all the Image Awards is about, is highlighting and celebrating those who are doing tremendous work in their fields.
Mm-hmm. And as a board of director, what else do you do?
So being on the board of the NAACP is the governing body. So we vote on what new legislation we decide to send over to Congress, or if we're suing a part of the government or somebody. Those are the discussions that we have as the governing body. It's just like resolutions and bylaws type of work. So I mean, it's just the voting power essentially. Really the real work comes in like locally, when we protest and do our marches and fight from the ground level. That's more so what I do here in San Antonio. But when I travel, that's what I'm doing my board meeting. So I travel to take care of the governing body, like the administration work of the association.
Do you do a lot of public speaking?
Whenever I get asked to. I've done a lot of public speaking in the past. Several interviews on the news, especially back when I was in college. And I just had a speaking engagement in Houston that I unfortunately missed, but I do get requests to come speak all over the state pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And how did you get involved with all that?
With the NAACP, so my mom, rest in peace, put me and my brother in the NAACP like in 8th grade. She just signed us up for it. And as a kid, I'm just like, I mean, you do what your mom tells you to do. So I've gone to the meetings, and over time, like as the weeks and months go, over time you start to like get interested in what you're involved in. Like at some point a button clicks and you're like, okay, so let me like take the time to realize what this is and understand it. I learned about the history of the NAACP and I was like, oh, like this is about something like positive for my people. And so once that switched in my head, I kind of was just stuck to it. So I went from just being a regular member like in middle school to running for, because San Antonio has a youth group too. Ran for the vice president of the youth group, got that. Next step, I decided to run for a state position, got that. So I was a state secretary of the Youth and College Division by the time I was like 17. Had a state position for like 4 years and decided to run for a national seat. And I had that for 4 years.
And this is not volunteer work, right? Or
it is volunteer work.
Volunteer?
Yeah,
okay.
This is volunteer work.
Okay.
For sure. So but I still have to work.
Yeah. But whenever you need to go on trips and shit, they cover all that.
Yeah. That's cool. So like for my board meetings, they accommodate my flight and my travel. And the Image Awards, they accommodate my tickets, and I cover my flight and my travel. Yeah.
So what were your aspirations at the time? Because you also DJ. So was that your main goal?
As far as
DJing?
No. So my ultimate goal was to be an attorney. I went to school for criminal justice legal assistance, and while I was in school, DJing presented itself to me as like a hobby and now a career option. I've always been into music, so I was always a guy with music on my phone. So we would be at kickbacks and people would like throw me $20 to like just play music all night from my phone. And I would do it. I was like, all right, cool. And eventually I got tired of having to just play music from my phone, so I taught myself how to use virtual DJ. a free DJ software that you could find like on Google. Taught myself that. Started doing big parties for some bread. I was able to like pay my rent in school off of DJ money. And then I bought some equipment. The more money I got, bought some equipment, and then now here we are. I'm just DJing's become like a very profitable career path for me. And I've done some like really dope things.
And you grew up out here?
Yeah, I'm from San Antonio. Like, grew up on the northeast side, and then moved to the east side between like middle school and high school, and then came back, graduated from Roosevelt. I went up to TMI for a little bit, Texas Military Institute, a private school out here in Bernie. But yeah, I'm from San Antonio, born and raised. My family's from here. That's where I'm from. Grew up playing for the Northeast Chargers. Grandma's house off of WWY, Old Coach Lane, across from Lewis Funeral Home. That's where I would spend my summers. This is home.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, do you feel like what more do you want to accomplish? Like, what's your main goals?
One of my main goals is to like be an example for my people outside of the entertainment industry. Give people like black legislators to see, black mayors. I want to be an example for the administration side of San Antonio. A lot of people like aspire to be athletes, rappers, which is dope. I'm for that. Like, my whole thing in life is do both. So clearly I have my NAACP hat, I have my DJ entertainment hat. I want to be able to show people that you can really do both of them, but really focus on the academic side of life, because I feel like education and academia really get you far, but I still want people to have the freedom and the comfortability to feel like they can still be themselves. Like, you might find me in a meeting one night in the strip club the hour after that, and there's nothing wrong with that. So my goal is really just to be an example, to show people that you can do this like me. You don't have to be confined to one bucket. You can really do it all. And I want to show people to do that, but primarily my goal is to teach them like how to be successful outside of the entertainment industry.
And I also see you at a whole bunch of events in the city, you know, hip hop events and stuff like that. What's your views on the culture in the city?
Right now, the culture in the city, I think San Antonio definitely has a great culture. But what I often hear is people trying to compare our culture to other cities, and that's how you lose. You win when you know who you are. We have to understand that we're 6% black, and of course we cater to our market, but that's not a culture, that's a demographic. So I feel like the culture of San Antonio is one of the quickest growing cities in the country. A lot of jobs are coming down here, and with that there's a lot of money coming to the city, and you see that being introduced with more shows coming out for hip hop. There's some new radio stations on the way for hip hop, more festivals being thrown catered to the hip hop and an urban crowd. So I think the culture is in a great shift, if you're asking about that. But the black demographic might be a different question.
Okay, so explain the black demographic. Like, what's your views on that?
So I mean, our views on the black demographic in the city, we have a lot of things to work on. A lot of pettiness to just throw aside so we can focus on the bigger picture. So that is one area that I see needs work. But I think we're on the brink of like pushing through this wall, whatever has been blocking the city for some time. As I look around, there's just so many people in the city like that are doing big things, but on a low-key scale, like not on a low-key scale, but that just aren't known. So that for me brings hope, because people are out here working, and when there's work being done, you can like pinpoint things. Okay, I see KashCut and Tribe making videos. I want to be like them. I see Tay producing and being successful. I want to be like him. You see things start to click for people, and I think that that's a good bubbling for like what's come up next. So, you know, we have to get over some pettiness, but I think that we're turning a page.
All right, it's your boy Tribal Vision here with DoubleOhTevin.
Yes, sir.
All right, so first thing I wanted to ask was, I got a chance to see the pictures on the BET Awards. Mm-hmm. So what was that like for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was it like being able to be in that room with so many of those stars? You know what I mean?
I felt like the Black James Bond that night. It was dope. It was my second time going to the award show. But I mean, throughout the year, I work with a lot of these celebrities. Like, they come to our conventions, and so I develop a relationship with them. So it's always cool to like to go to the award show and like they recognize who I am. I see Tracy Ellis Ross, be like, "Oh, Tevin Hayes, good to see you again," or Yara Shahidi from the girl from Blackish, or in Grownish. Like, "Oh, I recognize you." So it's always cool to like to run into people, and they know who you are. It always feels good to be recognized. Cause I ain't gonna lie, like even in the city, I be feeling like people don't really know like who I am. But I mean, you ask anybody who's anybody in the city, they know who I am. I work. Nah, you
real talk, like, cause like I like kind of had like an idea who you were because of the NAACP. My mom and dad like have put me on to a lot of what they do for black culture. You know what I'm saying, for black people, and just indefinite. And there's like when old girl had pointed you out to me that night at Burn House, I was just like, that's DoubleOhTevin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm up on the double. You know what I'm saying, NAACP. Most definitely, but I have much respect to what you do.
No, I appreciate that. So like it's good to be recognized when I go out, because a lot of people don't. Although I guess the general public doesn't know who I am, but you ask any of the top promoters of your favorite events, who they like, who they know me. The Davies, the J5s, Stunner. You know me, Black, Hispanic. I've DJed in your clubs. I've done graphics for your clubs. I'm probably best friends with your DJ. All the DJs know me. All the rappers know me. The producers know me. So I feel like I get overlooked, but it's always cool to be recognized by like people that I admire when I go to these award shows. Super dope. And they have open bars at all the events, so it's lit.
So I heard you mention Los Angeles, California. I'm a California resident. So like, what was it like being out there in the city? You know what I'm saying? I heard earlier you said you go out there a lot.
Yeah.
What's it like being able to like travel though? You know what I'm saying? Like putting down that travel time, getting out there, and people, you know what I'm saying?
So when I was in LA this past week, it was cooler to me because it was my first time like being able to DJ in LA. So I DJ'd it was a Creole restaurant out in South Central. I forget the name of it, but I can show it to you off air. And for me to take my little Texas ass to South Central LA and crash the day party, and get so much love from California residents was like jaw dropping for me, because I honestly didn't know what to play. I'm out there, but I was like, I'm gonna do me. Now I got requests. Niggas is trying to fly me back out to LA. So this trip to LA was an experience like none other, because I got to like do a craft that I loved in LA and be accepted by LA folks. Is like super dope. But I love LA, man. I love LA.
Did it get to blow over all like the talk and controversy that people say about like going out of town, especially to Los Angeles, California, because of the fact that there are a lot of gangs out there and things of the sort, and a lot of clubs do get shot up out in that place? Did it blow off a lot of that like talk and controversy you speak about?
I'm a tourist, so when I go to LA, I think I don't really see LA. So I don't have like an honest answer for that question. I think that I'm blinded when I go to LA because I'm focused on, oh, I'd recognize this. I'm being a tourist. I don't really get to travel like into the neighborhoods and see what true LA street life is like. But I'm sure, like, based off the way niggas is rapping and telling stories from Cali, that it hasn't blown over. It's just I have like focus goggles on when I'm in LA and I'm tourist mode. But I guess I need to click out of that and tap into the streets.
Respect. One thing, how do you go about your NAACP work? Like, what is your day-to-day activities when you have to go about with all of them?
A lot of it's just daily organization. So being an activist, even outside of the NAACP, being an activist for people, you have to be an organizer. The goal is to recognize an issue and figure out how to attack that issue and then attack it. So a lot of my day is the how-to. So tapping out to resources, checking in email, sending out asks for help, whether we need funding, whether we need to just partner with another organization to make our voice bigger. That's what the day-to-day looks like, is outreach and tapping into my resources.
Main question for other people looking to be businessmen, what would you like to say to them?
Don't think that as a businessman, realize that you are the business, you are a commodity. Don't sell yourself short. I have this talk a lot with DJs, but mainly with entrepreneurs, feeling that they don't have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. So to them, I just say that understand your worth when you're walking into this game. If you don't, you'll be ran over. Entrepreneurship isn't a career path for the weak. So just come with a game plan, come with a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. Understand your why as to why you're doing this, and have faith and believe in yourself. Don't do this because your friend said it's a good idea. That's the quickest way to fail, if you don't believe in yourself. So that's my word to them. Understand that you are the business, so treat yourself exactly like you'd want your business to be treated. Don't play no games with this. You end up broke, hurt in your feelings, lost. That's not the way to go, man, I swear.
Understood. Now, on the DJ side, would you be willing to sign any artists?
I don't see, that's the weird thing. Like, a lot of people see that in me. A lot of people tell me that I have a great ear, that I'm a great leader, and that I can do something like that. I don't see it in myself, but I mean, I would not be open to signing an artist. I just think I need to figure out a structure on how to do that myself. I mean, I work with a team of guys, and I can model their structure, but I don't see it in myself. But if my answer was yes to your question, I just don't see it in myself just yet. But who knows, the future. I do feel I have a need to put people on to help reach back and help niggas around me make it as well. But I don't know if starting a label is necessarily what I need to do, if that's my body of work. I see myself being more beneficial in other ways, maybe management, legal counseling, if I decide to go and actually get my law degree. But something outside of just owning a record label, I feel is where I belong.
What are one of the main challenges that you faced in your path of all the things that you've come to accomplish, that you can vividly pinpoint that it made sure that you were going to just keep going, not stop, not give up?
Being homeless in college.
Let's talk about that.
Trying to, of course you go to school, because you have a vision of making life better and easier for yourself, while in that moment you're going through hell, going through financial burdens. And so being homeless in school, because I couldn't pay, this was before I started DJing, there was one time me and the family just couldn't pay for tuition and housing. So I was crashing on friends' couches for the year and waking up and going to school, and I was like, this is not how I want to live. And I think something in there is what clicked in my head, and I had to get it. And I think that's probably why I even started really charging niggas to DJ. Is I had to eat, and ever since then I was I'm not going back to this lifestyle, and I haven't. I've turned up since then.
Many blessings. I know that's I was homeless too. My whole family lived in Haven for Hope when it was still open. Shit sucked. I ain't gonna lie to you, real talk. But doggone, what would you like to say for your young black people who are really trying to make it out here, who are in San Antonio specifically? Because San Antonio is just not really love worthy. People don't really love each other out here. They don't really show too much love, and there are some areas that do, but a lot of it doesn't.
To those of you that are feeling there's no hope, you don't know what to do, Realize that I've been in your shoes. I feel like that every other day probably. But you got to find something within that tells you to keep going. And if you believe that what you're doing is what you want to do, then attack it. Don't worry about fitting in. I don't fit in. You have to be comfortable with like in your own skin, man. That's really it. And it's easier said than done. But you have to tap into yourself and like ask. You have to have those conversations with yourself. Like really sit down. I sit in my room by myself and won't talk to a lot of people, but I have conversations with myself about like what I'm doing in life, what I have next, why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, is this the right action I need to take? Yes and no, have the conversations. So I encourage everybody to like really sit down with yourself and not just your friends and have these conversations to figure out why you're doing what you're doing, make sure it's right. And if you wholeheartedly agree with what you're doing, you're gonna be at the top. Don't let nobody tell you no. Don't worry about fitting in. Stay focused to your vision. The good word to tell you that.
Any inspirations? Anyone that you specifically look up to that really like put you on this path?
Of course, my parents. They instilled this drive in me, but I really look up to Hove. Like Jay-Z is like I met Jay-Z actually one time. I met Jay-Z last year in LA at the Image Awards, but if I could just be a fly on the wall whenever Jay-Z was speaking, I'd love that. The way he came up, a D-boy, took a break from it, realized that it's what he wanted to do, got his bread right, was able to invest in himself, make himself larger than life, drop some heat, and then turn his life into a business.
Black entrepreneurship.
You tell me, you feel me? I'm telling you, Hove is probably my biggest inspiration when it comes to fatherhood, manhood, period, dealing with his like infidelities. I mean, it's life. You don't judge anybody off of that, but seeing him go through that and handle all of it the way he has, I fuck with Hove.
And where can we find you?
You can find me on every social media app, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all DoubleOhTevin, DoubleOhTevin. Or go to my website, www.DoubleOhTevin.com. I drop a bunch of chopped and screwed music on there. For those who don't know, I'm a big chopped and screwed fan and DJ. So I'll be dropping all the chopped hits on there and on my SoundCloud.
I recently heard one on Instagram. What was that? What was the chop that you did?
Which one? I post.
It was literally the most recent one. I literally just heard it.
I gotta look. I don't know what I posted last. I don't know what I posted.
I'm not gonna cap. It was really good. I was like, damn. I think it's like Aaliyah in the back. Is it singing? You chopped an Aaliyah song. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I chop so much music. I'm not gonna lie. I chop so much music, and I don't know what I posted.
That one was fire though. I recently heard that one. That was really fire. I was like, I can make some fire to this. Like, real talk.
I appreciate that.
Real talk. It was fire.
Yeah.
Are you looking to start any businesses?
I am actually, but I'm gonna keep that on the low. But actually, me and a few of other people that Cash Cut has interviewed have all like assembled like the Avengers on a business move, and then I have some ideas of my own, but those are 10-year plans. Nothing immediately, but the Avengers we assembled for sure, and we have something very beneficial for the city coming up.
Are there
talking about some property?
Are there any other DJs that you're tapping in with?
There's not a DJ in the city I haven't tapped in with. You name it, all over the place. And DJ Fat, DJ Keep Up Now, DJ Young Troy, Wet Lee, Henny K, Young Key, Aquarius, KC, Steez, Too Easy, Sterling, Alley Cat, Donnie D. I'm forgetting a lot of names. But I mean, that just go. I know I'm tapped in with all the DJs. Wild Style, yeah. Y'all pull up March 10th. DJ link up going down at Blows 7 p.m. March 10th. Come here, DJ Alley Cat special guest, and all your favorite San Antonio DJs under one roof.